Hello and good evening for all mankind. Season 2, Episode 5, The Wait. It's over, and it has been since March 19th of 2021, but we're just getting started here. July 14th, 2025, here on Live Long and Podcast, as we continue our mission to watch every episode of For All Mankind and talk all about it. I'm Dave Mader. Much like the Gordo Stevens pounding the lunar gravel with the kind of grit that NASA can't measure. I'm your host for this evening, and I'm going to introduce you once again to our fabulous panel who are going to help me break this all down. Coming in first, like the Pathfinder shuttle cutting through Cold War turbulence, he balances cool precision with genuine emotional gravity. Ready to dissect family drama and covert programs alike, it's Kevin Millard.
That's very good, Dave. Excellent. I didn't think you were going to live up to last week, but
I'm doing it. I'm keeping up with it here. Coming in next from Ottawa, where bureaucratic red tape meets lunar duct tape and moral ambiguity. He's the guy who could fix Gordo's treadmill with a paperclip and still file a TPS report. It's Adam Woodward. Oh.
Hey, guys. I pulled into Nazareth. I was feeling about half past dead. You know.
Yeah.
Dave, your introductions have really stepped up in the last few weeks. I love it.
I'm working on it. It's a new development here in the process.
This was like Jody, and I think Jody inspired you back when we were doing what we were doing, Enterprise. No, it was something else.
Enterprise, yeah.
It was Enterprise. Yeah, Jody did a much better job at that, and I've decided years later to try to match it. So,
but Adam, did you get the memo? We're putting the new covers on the TPS reports now, so if you could just go ahead and do that, that'd be great.
Okay. I'm going to need you to come in on Saturday.
You're also going to have to come in on Saturday.
Got to come in on Saturday.
Coming in next, if emotional honesty were weightless and gravity made redemption easier, he'd still challenge Gordo to run harder, dig deeper, and stop whining. Mid-stride, pep talks optional, command decisions guaranteed. It's Jody Simpson.
Wow, I like it. It was good. I'm not sure Davin would approve, but
probably not. But it's
Devin's not on this podcast, fellas.
No, he's not. He's not here. He's
but
over on Trivial Debates.
He's always with us.
He is.
Yes.
Spirit.
His presence looms large. Coming in next, with the composure of Ellen Wilson and the poetic insight of Pam Horton, she's navigating the tension between what's said and what's felt with graceful precision. If emotional truth were mission critical, she'd already have it logged and launched. It's Heather Narduzzi.
Oh, it's Heather.
That is an introduction worthy of Jeff, but I will take it. Thank you. I'm very much looking forward to discussing this episode. Very excited.
Welcome, Heather. Glad to have you with us once again. And coming in next and last here, like Ed Baldwin, flying through emotional records with the band playing faintly in the background. He doesn't just take off the load off Fanny. He takes the load right off me. It's Jeff Mader.
It's pretty good, Elida.
Elida. Oh, okay. Oh,
Shady.
Sure. Yes. Okay. So now that we're all here, let's talk about the For All Mankind, Season 2, Episode 5, the 15th episode overall, titled The Wait, directed by Mira Menon and written by Nicole Beatty and Joe Menosky. Joe Menosky, of course, of Star Trek writing fame. Full spoilers, of course, if you haven't watched up to this point of For All Mankind. And we're going to jump right into it. I don't know. We'll just go clockwise. Jody, you're up first. How was this episode for you? And we missed you last week, I believe, right? Or were you here last week?
Was I?
Maybe you just missed golf. I can't remember.
I missed golf.
Yeah. Okay.
But overall, I thought the episode was good. It's not groundbreaking by any stretch. There's nothing new in this episode that we haven't seen before, but it's I don't know. Overall, I think it was okay. I don't think it was any remarkable, amazing thing or anything. But
what about the band?
Anyway,
not winning Jody over.
Can I make a comment about this episode?
Yeah.
This episode was boring. Nothing happens. No, I like this season, but this is an episode where it's a character development. It's like the fifth. What is this? The fifth episode? It's been 5 episodes of character development. It's been 5 episodes of introducing me to Elena. Okay, I've had enough.
No. That's only been 2 episodes of the 5.
It feels like 50 for him.
It feels like every scene is a Leda. Oh, so here she is again.
Yeah. Okay. I admit that
2 minutes this episode. 2 minutes, Jeff.
That's enough.
she barely talks as well in her scene, but yeah,
That's character development.
exactly. That's why it takes us to get to 6 episodes before something really happens with Elena.
Listen, I couldn't disagree more. This episode has everything. Johnny Carson, poetry, lesbian yearning, sex, grief, foreshadowing. There's everything. It's wonderful. I love
running.
it. Now,
A running montage. How about that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Running and exercising. You take. Isn't that was pretty awesome?
5 minutes are spent smoking a cigarette into a tube.
Into a vacuum,
A vacuum.
right? Literally, Jeff needs more. You don't even know how to spell Elena there.
What?
That's Elida.
Elida?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Kevin, come on, disagree with everybody. Say, or at least agree with Heather, I suppose, more specifically.
I don't.
Damn it.
Say,
It's just what this season is going to be. It's a fine episode. I can't say I was bored, but it's the same as all the others. There's nothing really going on.
They brought guns to the moon.
Great, and
They haven't
so
shot them yet. But so
I'm looking forward to that in season 5.
Come on, it's Chekhov's moon gun. They have to set it up first so they can have it go off at the end of the season, right?
yeah. Okay, Adam. We haven't heard from you really.
You guys are all compelling. I look. Last week, I out of the 5 episodes so far, last episode was my favorite. This one, we hit a peak last week and have come down. After like coming out into that dogfight that Gordo and Ed were doing, I was expecting a little more this episode, but it went into the harsh reality of what the family's feeling, and then I don't, and this Tracy thing. Like, if I didn't like her last week, I really don't like her now.
Yeah.
Tracy's
Never send a Stevens to space. Apparently, they
Yeah.
Bad idea.
They're making me like Gordon and hate her. Obviously, they're killing everybody now.
I think it's fair to say that the Stevens track record on the moon, to this point at least, not going great.
It's not a good family legacy.
Yeah, but there's still time.
Yeah. They can turn it around. You're right.
I think their son is going to have more of a legacy than them.
Which one, Jimmy or Danny?
It doesn't matter.
It will matter.
Either one.
Either one will do something.
You got so many people like struggling right now. You've got Karen who's struggling. You've got Tracy who's struggling. Gordo is trying to get better, but he's still not doing great. I think the only one that really seems really happy with himself is Ed.
Okay, Ad, did you say you had kind of watched ahead yet, or no?
No, I wanted to after last week, and I'm kind of glad I didn't, because I think it would have been a letdown.
Okay. Well, so half of us I've seen ahead, that being Heather, myself, and Jeff. Okay, and without spoiling anything, like, do you feel that this season 2, Heather and Jeff, is like somehow a transition season, and that's why there's this character development that is dominating that first half of this season 2, or like?
No, I think season 2, knowing what happens, is a very contained season. It has like a very, I don't want to give anything away, but the ending kind of caps the end of the season really well, and that's what I think. It stands strong on its own 2 feet, but it's slow. It's like a real slow burn to get to the finale. And once the finale happens, you're like, that was a great season. But then now watching back these episodes, I'm going, this is fucking boring.
Can we just get to episode 10 already? Or 9? Yeah.
Well, I think that my perception of the episodes individually now is obviously colored by having watched the entire series, basically all in one gulp. When I started watching it, I was like, oh yeah, this is so good. I just mainlined it, right? And so this episode I really enjoyed because I having already seen it, I see all the seeds it's planting and everything it's setting up, and I know how it's going to pay off later, so it doesn't seem slow to me.
Right. Well, and when I watched it myself, and with Jane, like we would like we didn't watch all 10 episodes, I'd say, in a row, but we would typically watch a couple in a row, and so maybe if you have 1 hour that's a little bit more character development driven, you don't notice that as much in a sitting. Where is in this form, and this show did come out weekly when it released back in 2021. So I think it's fair that we watch it on a week-to-week basis, because that is how they meant to present it originally, but there's the binge effect, I suppose, for this kind of season.
So I really like the routine of on Sunday at some point in my day finding time to watch the episode. I really do like that, and I'm not disappointed with it. And it was fine. It was a fine episode, and yes, there was some good stuff to it, but I'm not sure I would have pushed through without you guys through these 5.
For me, it's a good story and it's fine, and these episodes are good, but it's not the same as the first season. It doesn't have the same feeling to it.
Well, the bar was very high for the first season,
right.
And that often happens in shows, like the sophomore
sure.
slump for the second season. I get that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes the second season could be the best. Like I think of Lost.
But they're telling a good story. Like it's not bad.
It's
any stretch.
It's very heavy on characters, and that's what the show is all about, characters right now. And the first season, they had a lot of action set pieces, and they had some stuff that was really exciting and suspenseful. And even though it's just Margot going down, what's her name? Who's
Molly.
Molly going down a cliff to go get some ice. They made that scene super suspenseful and well done. There's no scene like that in this episode tonight.
Jeff, didn't Molly get blurry eyes looking at a clipboard? You didn't find that suspenseful?
That got me going. That was,
on the edge of his seat. He was for that part. Yeah.
Is Aleda ever going to find her desk? I mean, I was on the edge of my seat.
Yeah.
I think with a show like this, I'm getting the feeling
keeps going to the gallery because she's like, I don't know where else there is in this building.
Yeah.
I spent all my time in the gallery.
I've just been waiting a season and a half to get right here, where I could have just come in on this episode and never been in an episode before this, and it would have been fine.
Then how would we have known that her father worked there?
You do a flashback scene. It's not hard.
Oh, okay.
Well,
drop a line of dialogue.
Yeah, drop a line of, you don't need to string this character along that nothing is occurring.
Right.
But then we wouldn't care about her the way that you do.
He doesn't care about her.
He does. He talks about her all the time. He's obsessed with her.
He does talk about her a lot.
This show should be just called Aleda.
I think
Aleda and Margot.
We should just send Jeff over to the MCU, over to Disney there, get them to fix all that up.
Fix all the problems.
Yeah, he's got it. He's solved it already.
All right.
You don't need no Ant-Man movie.
My daughter watches a show called Elena.
3 of them.
Of Avalor. It's about a Mexican Spanish princess that is it's in set in 1800s. But anyway, I think
Does she
a lot
find
of
her desk?
She does not. She's trapped in an amulet for 41 years, and then she gets freed by another princess from a different show. But that's neither here nor there. My point is, I look at Aleda a lot like the way I look at Elena, where she's trapped in with no purpose, and then all of a sudden now she has purpose. It took 15 episodes.
Help Elena.
That was her 41 years.
Writing.
My take on it too is I feel like the creators of the show, in particular in this season, and probably moving forward, actually, I feel like they're we have this amazing cast, right? And they do. This is a really a top-notch cast, and they're let's just give them scenes. Let them chew it up. And sometimes we get that scene the one where with Ed and Karen and Kelly and arguing about her going to the Naval Academy or stuff like that. I think but then we're give us some action, give us something, I don't know, explosion, or they have to save somebody, they've done in the different seasons. And that's sort of, I guess we had in the beginning of the season, we had that solar storm, but even for some of you, that was a bit underwhelming.
But that was
I like that.
Minutes.
There was some good stuff in the season so far.
Yeah, that was good. That was the first season episode, though. What has happened since that solar storm?
Gordo went for a run.
So
Okay.
you know what would make this really?
People
Gordo's
exchanged
losing
meaningful
pounds.
looks.
I would really, really appreciate if Gordo would shave his mustache.
Why?
I don't know
can't
that-
stand
Well, we don't all get what we want. Okay,
An
let's.
affair is occurring this episode. That is scandalous, and we're going to talk about it.
Guys, the 80s are coming up. He's gonna need that stash.
Mhm.
All right, let's jump into the episode. If no one else has anything they want to add on the top, and let's talk all about it through our screenshot visuals to help keep us on track. Now, we see a welcome to the moon sign, a landing here of a LEM on the moon lunar surface. We see Mars is 139 miles one way, and Earth is 239,000 miles another way.
139 million?
million. Yeah.
Million, yeah.
I said million, right? No,
Earth's
No.
only 239,000.
239,000 miles. Yeah, 139 million miles to Mars. As we see somebody coming down a ladder, a great first step for whomever, and comes off here. Not like on the lunar dust; it's like a landing pad. We see here, and it's Tracy Stevens looking out at the sunrise here on the moon. It's beautiful. She's having a thing, and then we see a cameraman says, "Oh, it wasn't recording. Sorry, I can't work the buttons through these thick gloves. Can you do it again, just like that?" And she's like, "Really? Okay, fine."
I don't know if they're gonna end up killing this character, but I really kind of want her to die.
Jody, what the fuck?
Just saying.
She's like, what? Because she came down the ladder.
I'm so done with her. Like, I'm just done.
This doesn't seem like a good reason.
I didn't say it was a good reason, Dave. I said that's what I want.
She rolled her eyes when
She's gonna.
the guy said it's not recording. So
Like,
that's
she's
the strike.
on the moon, and the first thing she does is roll her eyes. Piss off.
First thing she does when she gets home, she goes out, rides her bike, and gets hit by a car. End of Tracy.
Oh no.
That
They
sounds
would-
amazing. Does
They
that
would never
actually
do that
happen?
on this show. Come on.
They don't
anyway.
kill people on this show.
No, they would never kill somebody on this show. Anyway,
Yeah, they do.
They do. And they like to do it.
Generally
too.
on bikes.
Anyway, so then Tracy does it again, looks out, and she does the smile, and it's feeling a little bit contrived, perhaps. As we had, that is our teaser for the episode. Tracy's here. We know that Tracy's having this arc this season of being part-time celebrity, being part-time astronaut, and trying to
Full-time bitch.
go.
See, I think that Jody acting like this about Tracy perfectly demonstrates why she's having such a hard time on the base, because everybody thinks she's a celebrity asshole who doesn't deserve to be there when she worked just as hard as everybody else.
She did not, Heather. She absolutely did not work as hard as everybody else. She was late
did-
for work.
Wow.
Okay,
She
she
drinks
was late
all
for
the
work
time.
a lot.
9
And she
years
needs
nine
help.
years ago, that was true. At this time, it's a little different, I think. But
But she's
she's
Johnny Carson's
troubled,
friend.
Okay, she's troubled, and she's a
troubled.
celebrity.
Absolutely,
so
it's
leave her alone.
complicated. It's just like Gordo. She's
Eventually,
complicated.
she's going to be working for the Publishers Clearinghouse, and that'll be the end of it.
Moving on. That is our teaser for the episode, the title card, the wait, and we jump into the episode. A phone call goes off in a dark bedroom. It's Karen. She's presumably getting the call about Ed, having, of course, objected in the end of the previous episode. After that dogfight with Gordo. We see,
This is such a nothing burger, too. I like, couldn't you give me some drama, like he was behind enemy lines, like, Owen Wilson or
Well,
something?
I think the point here with Karen is that, she was, we saw a previous episode at breakfast. She's like, Ed, you're not happy, being just at the desk job. You need to go back out there. To be happy for you, Ed, you need to be back, flying again and into space. But then when she gets this call on his very first flight, now that he's an astronaut, like it was just a flight out to Florida, he nearly dies. Or in her
Can I
mind.
say he seemed pretty happy?
He seemed
He
okay.
does.
Yeah, he seemed happy. He was playing golf. He was like running the show. He seemed content. I don't understand where
Karen
that came
said
from.
no, and Karen's like, no, you need to go back and be an astronaut again. He was like, I guess, okay.
Yeah, he goes, all right, but he wasn't like, oh, I hate this job. He didn't say one word.
Right.
Where
But-
did this come from? I don't get it.
there's also this thing here with like now that he is back into it and Karen gets this call, it's like all this PTSD for Karen is like coming to the surface from years ago when he was an active astronaut then. And we see her and Kelly in the kitchen.
Remember, guys, we completely ragged on her when she would sit by that squawk box and live on his timing. And she was an intense woman back then. She was not relaxed.
No, I didn't rag on her.
She's not relaxed like she is now,
Cigarettes.
Right. She's worried, sick about Ed. They're waiting for a call because they know something's happened, but they don't know if Ed's alive or dead, I guess, at this point, right? So they're waiting for like the next call. And there's not a lot being said here between Kelly and Karen, but all of a sudden the phone rings and Kelly grabs it. And you see here, Karen's obviously, afraid the call is going to be.
Well, she also explains here that she waited like this. She's telling Kelly, I waited like this for 2 weeks.
Right.
Just like this every
when he was
day
in Korea.
When he was in Korea. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. In the war. And which she brings up again. And Kelly's listening on the phone. We can't hear it, but there's eventually sort of like this moment. There's we don't know what's had to happen, but then Kelly kind of smiles. She's okay, and the relief that Karen demonstrates on screen here, I think is pretty. It's a pretty good performance for her. And she hugs Kelly, and then she says to Kelly, "This is what happens when you go in. Like, I know you want to go to the Naval Academy, Kelly, but this is what you're going to do to your family. Every time.
This is what your loved ones go through. You need to know that.
You need to know that. Harsh but true, and so Kelly's got to take that into account. There's a time jump. It's like hours later. Kelly and Karen have dressed, waiting in the living room for Ed, and Ed comes through the door. Gives Kelly a hug. Karen's clearly emotionally put up her guards with Ed now. I think that's what we'll see throughout this episode.
I'm so confused. Why?
I think I was just going to say, and he's confused. Now Jeff is too. She's the one who instigated this 100%.
Right.
But
but have you ever said something and then regretted saying that later? Or like
never
encouraged something and then realized it wasn't really what you wanted either, and also she lost her son. I imagine it being on the thinking that her husband might be gone too, of course, would cause her to put up walls and react.
Heather,
strongly,
that was a while ago. Like, do we really have to keep
get over it, Karen?
Come on. It's a new decade.
Like, come on.
We've moved on. It's season 1.
You have a new kid now. Shame
she
you.
replaced her kid. It's fine.
Karen, she barely says hello to Ed, and then she's like, "Okay, I'm going to work," and he's like, "It's 6 a.m. Like, what do you mean you're going to the bar? Like, it doesn't open probably until at least 11, I would imagine." And she's like, "I gotta get a head start on the day. See you later, Ed." And she just takes off. And Ed asks Kelly, like, "What's up with your mom?" And Kelly just says, "It was a long night, So Ed's.
But they show me this guy who's been battered somehow, which I don't really totally understand how that would have happened, but I'm sure.
He hit the canopy.
Do you think you maybe got banged around?
He didn't goose it. Give me a break. We didn't even see.
It wasn't a full
goose.
goosing, but it was like
Anyway.
It's like a half goose.
And we didn't see how hard he hit the water when his
probably still hit the water pretty hard.
But that's what I'm saying is like. This was an opportunity to show us a little bit more. They didn't show us anything. And instead I got bitchy Karen saying that she's got to go to work early now.
Karen being a Karen.
Karen being a Karen.
Speaking of Karen goes to the outpost at 6 a.m. to open up. And, we see all the shots of, like, the NASA imagery, the space imagery. She's looking around at it, and she's looking at it with horror, I would say. Like, she's not... I guess feeling good about her place in the NASA world and her restaurant.
I was going to open early for Tracy, but she's on the moon.
Yeah, exactly. So she's looking around here, all this imagery, all the space shuttle, and maybe she's a little over it at this point in her life after a lifetime in being involved.
I guess it is like all those nights and the PTSD and the worrying, but the tragedy that came in her life was not related to space.
You mean
Quite-
Shane?
Yeah, like it had nothing to do with space, the tragedy, other than the fact that Ed wasn't there. Like Ed was on the moon. So that was probably really
Well,
sucked.
Maybe it's the guilt from how terrible of a fucking parent she is.
But it didn't have anything to do with space directly, no. But don't you think that she would have been second guessing herself and every decision and choice that they made as parents? Like, what if? Hi, Sam. Like, what if he hadn't gone to space? What if we lived somewhere else? What if Ed was home? What, like those kinds of things. So, and I think this is not necessarily about space per se, but about she's unhappy in this, like she feels
status quo.
trapped maybe,
Yeah.
like I'm not getting the right words, but,
But,
you know what
but
I mean?
like I think
Also-
like what you said is true, because I think she thought, oh, if I push Ed to be an astronaut again, it'll go back to the way it was and it'll be happier. Clearly, she didn't like seeing Ed's face. She's like, Ed, you need to go away. You need to fly into the space and be away from me.
I'm glad
You
you're
know,
alive,
and then
go
she's like,
away.
that didn't work. He almost died, and then I had the PTSD come back, and then he comes back, then I see his face again. That sucked. You know, like
He's
that's
got a black
kind of
eye.
yeah, black guy. He
He's a
wants
little less pretty than he was before.
he wants me to
but-
hug him. I'm not gonna do that. You know,
I
so-
think that's an interesting interpretation, Jeff, that she wanted him to go back to space, not for his own good, but for hers.
yes, that's how I
Right.
took it.
But she doesn't want him to die or
No.
anything like that.
No, just like go to the moon. Don't die. Just fuck off.
Fuck, I don't
Yeah,
want to
can you just go to the moon, but safely? You know.
Yeah, just
Um,
be away.
I'm done
Wait.
looking at your face. Go back to the fucking moon.
And she doesn't even she doesn't even have any of this context that Ed had this accident because he was screwing around with the.
No,
with the-
because
she
she's
does,
so
though. She
self-absorbed.
does.
She does.
Boys. She said boys will be boys, and then that implied that she did know.
Oh, okay. I didn't miss
So
that.
I think that gives a bit more of an indicator of why she's so pissed. Because like it's not like something out of his control happened. Him and Gordo were acting like idiots in the sky, and they bailed. Like
Yeah, if
that's-
they just flown, if they just went to Florida like they're supposed to, nothing. This probably wouldn't happen.
Right. Yeah,
This
exactly.
is why they
No,
should have flown Pan Am.
Maybe she's like, "Why did I marry this man?" Is probably what she's really wondering. Anyway,
Mows the lawn in the middle of the night. Who is this guy?
Moving back to Jamestown, in the next scene here, we have Tracy arriving. She gets her, the applause. Of course, we talk about Tracy being a celebrity and someone thing. She has her own cameraman always following her around. And she meets like the base commander, who's like, we've met twice before, but she doesn't remember.
that is mortifying when that happens. Have you ever done that? Introduce
Oh, yeah.
yourself to someone, and they've been like, "Oh yeah, we've met lots of times."
Yeah, every year in hockey.
Yeah.
It
I'm
happens
like,
to me here and
"Guys."
there, or I sometimes I don't recognize somebody right away. But yeah, it's not
Right.
great. So
Who
anyway,
is this actor? Do we know him? He's so
Oh,
familiar. What else is he in?
Yes, I will get that for you. 'cause
yeah,
I-
Okay.
Rossi's the character, but
Rossi.
Commander Rossi. Say hi to Tracy, and then we meet this whole concept of the Linus is introduced in this episode. It's the rookie on the base from Peanuts, like whoever is never been here before. The most junior, I suppose, astronaut on the base is the Linus.
What the hell's wrong with Linus?
Now,
I don't know, but you know what? Rachel used that as an insult to Chandler on Friends one time. So maybe that was like an American insult to call somebody a dork or a dweeb, like a Linus.
I never liked Peanuts. I don't really get it. But
No, because you were like minus 50 years old when it came out.
Oh, good grief.
Okay, that actor's name is Scott Michael Campbell, and I did the same thing when I watched season 2. I was like, I know this face.
He
Where
was
do I
a
know him
cowboy
from?
in something. I just
He was in Brokeback Mountain, so I guess
There
maybe
you
a
go.
lot of people know him from that. I know him really well from the movie Flight of the Phoenix. He's in
Oh,
that
okay.
movie, and
Yeah.
that's where I recognized him from. But I'm sure he was also in Suits and Shameless. So, you know.
Shameless. That's probably
Yeah.
where I saw
I
it.
think the Linus reference, like, I don't like Peanuts either. I never understood it, and Charlie Brown was just depressing. But
Yeah.
Linus Van Pelt was like sort of the guy that was trying to smooth out the problems with the group, but he also had the blanket all the time and sucked his thumb, so he was probably the youngest one, and that's probably the reference.
And considered like
Ah,
the baby, I suppose.
Yeah.
thank you for interpreting that for us, 70s baby Adam.
He was Lucy's brother, if you remember Lucy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Lucy was the
and-
bossy one, right?
Yeah.
Lucy was basically Karen, so I get that.
All right. Well, there's that. Well, anyway, so they give this patch
But
over.
Dave, I don't think this landed at all.
No, I didn't care about any of this. But we get to meet this new guy, Corrado, who is he was the Linus until Tracy showed up. And so his job as the former Linus is to show around the new Linus, Tracy, around the base. The cameraman following them throughout the tour as they move around Jamestown. He shows her, that he takes her to the science area, like the geology and chemistry. And we meet this
Stand
guy.
back. We're doing science.
Studying doing science. We find out that some of the scientists, astronauts, like the ones who do research, they're a little not as social, perhaps. They tend to be a little bit more quiet. But we find out that he makes a really nice moonshine here on the moon. With 99% ethanol. And she says, "Are we allowed to drink up here?" And they go, "Well, it's kind of frowned upon." But it's. Who's going to tell
I'm almost positive that she wouldn't have asked that question.
No, I'm pretty sure. We see that she's got a.
He's also covering the camera lens and not the microphone.
Yeah. Fucking brilliant, that one.
He was just the Linus 10 seconds ago. Come on.
Remember,
Right.
the top people got to go up here.
So they're showing. Yeah, we go to the command section of the base. We see that the commander, like Ellen had this office before Rossi did, and I guess his bunk and his office are all one room, and and then there's the quartermaster. Is that who she is? Which has a similar setup on the other side of the command module.
If you don't call her Q, I'm not interested.
Thank you. So I don't know what this deal is.
Every
guys.
time they use this like frame thing where it's like recording, it's supposed to be like from the camera. I always get the office vibes from this. I'm not totally sure why.
It's almost like when I watch this effect in stills now, because they're trying to make it look like 1980s level television, but it kind of looks like a real just a filter, I guess is what it is. Right?
I can read that guy's name tag. There's no way this was 80s TV.
Exactly. Anyway, showing them around. I'm gonna try to yada through this. They turn off the camera eventually, and then they head over to there's this whole discussion here with Corrado and Tracy where he was like, when I was a kid, I saw you help save Tracy Cobb, and you were like my hero. And she goes, well, you're making me feel like kind of old, but that's nice and sweet. And so
I thought he was going a whole Mrs. Robinson on this.
Mrs. Stevens,
In this case, Mrs. Stevens, yeah.
So he seems to, at least him in particular admires Tracy. They come in. This is where they can watch videotapes and TV. I don't know what show this was.
Is that Bo Brady on Days of Our Lives?
It could be.
I think it is.
Maybe. I don't know.
Originally, I thought it was Bosom Buddies, but it wasn't. So.
Yeah.
What year is this?
83.
1983.
Yeah, it might be Days of Our Lives.
Yeah. Well, we'll see if that comes up in fun facts. And then as well.
Adam's
That
muted,
means you,
but
Adam.
we can see his facial expressions.
Yeah.
He's like, seriously?
Anyway, he's showing her on the base. She sees this photo of Danielle Poole and her ex-husband Gordo, where it says, don't let this happen to you, and it shows Danielle with the broken arm and the terror out here. But does even Tracy know the full truth of what happened?
Do we?
We do. We watched it.
Right. Oh, right. Okay.
But I don't know what Gordo and Ed and Danielle told anybody outside of the three of the high bobs, right? Like, did they even tell their spouses about it? Well, we know that Danielle told her husband, and then her husband told his sister. So there was some of that going around. But it seems I don't know what Tracy knows about this specifically.
It's my opinion that Gordo didn't tell her or anybody else.
Right. Okay. Because he wanted to tell the world, and Danielle put the kibosh on that, right? So I don't know, but you think you'd tell your wife?
Well, she wasn't his wife by that point, was she?
She was still like.
Oh
'cause
yeah, they were still married.
they were still married for a few years, and then they eventually split up. But Gordo was never really the same after that until this point. So it's very possible he didn't. We transition here. Corrado shows Tracy like the bunks. Tracy would normally have to share a bunk as a newbie on the base with like somebody on like the night shift or day shift. But she gets her own. Now,
do we think this is because of her celebrity status or because no one wants to bunk with her?
We said that the commander, like he kind of did it because she's a celebrity and she's a little senior in some aspects, right? So like I think they're willing to give her her own room, but it's not much of a room. It's just a bunk, but her own bunk specifically. And because her cameraman makes a comment, that it must be nice to be queen, some of that resentment. We also see Tracy smuggled cigarettes here somehow to the moon. I feel like this wouldn't get
And
through
a
massive-
lighter.
And a lighter.
The lighter is the more. How did she smuggle that?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure this whole place is flame retardant. Come on.
But fire in space, bad.
You can't even smuggle a lighter through an airport thing, Like it seems like it wouldn't get up to space.
You
The
couldn't
TSA
eat.
says I don't
You
have
could
to
in the
take my
80s. Yeah.
Yeah, the TSA now says I don't have to take my shoes off, so there's progress here, Dave.
That's true. She doesn't need that. And then we see Tracy gets introduced to the air ventilation system that's really loud right over her bunk. And, Corrado says, you'll get used to it.
Maybe
Like,
that's why she had her own bunk, because that's
Not
the
when
bunk.
you're a drunk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there was, that was kind of the common theme that Corrado kept saying. He's like, you'll get used to it. You'll get used to it. Like, there's being up here is not the easiest thing. It's easier than it was maybe like when Gordo and Ed and Danielle were at the very beginning, but it's
much less exciting, much more monotonous, and they
Yes.
show that going forward.
Yeah, they show the
Mhm.
monotony.
Right.
The montage.
the montage,
There's a lot of good montages in this episode, though.
especially
We got
the
the
one-
80s fitness montage, too, later.
Exactly. So into the oldies. Anyway, then we go back to NASA to Houston, where they're listening to the flight log of what happened with Ed and Gordo and their dogfight in the previous episode. I love his face on Gordo.
I love his face, though. His face is amazing.
Like, oh, that's not good.
Because
Oh,
Ed has the whole "I was caught" look on his face, and you have Gordo like, "I want to laugh, but I shouldn't laugh. This isn't funny."
right. And
But
so
yeah,
Ed,
I love this scene. The way Molly just dresses them down, and everybody loves it except for Thomas Paine.
Margot is eating it up.
But
She loves it.
Molly does an amazing job being the boss, right? Like,
Yeah.
she does a great job.
the job she just got from Ed, and he was like, "Oh, you can give me a bottle of scotch." I think she doesn't need to get him the bottle of scotch now.
No, probably not.
Right, but she chews them out. It would be a good way of putting it here for being idiots and flying around like a couple of cowboys. And Thomas Paine's pissed off, Margot's pissed off, but Molly's dishing
And
out
the best thing about Molly is she doesn't give a shit about any of them.
right, and she's gonna pull their tickets. Like I'm gonna pull you. You'll be out of the program for this, And
Can you go back to that screenshot? They look like two scolded little boys sitting in the
They're in
principal's,
the principal's
office.
office.
Yeah.
Especially the way they giggle to each other when
Yeah.
they leave.
Mhm.
Well, and this is about when Ed looks over at Gordo and kind of chuckles. So it's like even
Yeah.
funnier then.
Well, don't you remember the scene where both their sons were in the principal's office?
Yes, I thought
Yes.
of that too, Adam.
That's
yeah.
true. Yeah, good point. Yeah, and they're here. Well, like father, like son, perhaps. And so anyway, but Molly's not holding back here, but she eventually says, you screw up one more time, I'll pull your tickets. Get the hell out of here. Are you being smart, Gordo, or whatever? But they're lucky to kind of get out of there with their flight status intact. So she throws them out. I got too many screenshots here. Yeah, but you can see here they're so happy that they got off light.
Gordo's like, that was so stupid.
Right. You see here also Ed's reaction. Like,
It's like, woo!
Ooh,
you
it got scolded and lived to tell the tale.
Thomas Paine can't believe it. He's like, "Is that all you're gonna do, Molly?"
I also like how Molly, basically, the two people that she's in the room now with are both above her in the chain of command, but she's like, yeah, no, I don't really care what either one of you
But
say.
but these are her astronauts, and she gets she decides if the discipline.
But
is
Ed
the
did the
correct-
same thing, right?
Ed did the
So
same thing.
it's-
You
It's
know,
the Deke rule.
Before him. That's right.
The Deke rule. Yeah.
the Deke established this office, and like
No.
it's
I love this when she says, "I don't have to justify my decisions to either of you. Have a nice day." And just
Yeah,
the
she's like,
office.
and here's the figure. Yeah.
yeah. And she's like, I do run it with autonomy, right? Like I do have, it is my thing. And they're like, well, yeah. She's like, bye. Like, see ya.
Okay, well, you're not going to chastise me like I just chastised them. So piss
And
off.
I love that Payne is so pressed over it, and Margot's like, well, she's got us
Yeah.
there, really.
Margot's impressed. Everyone's impressed, but Thomas Paine.
Yeah, he was like, "Come on," because how many $1 million was that plane?
2 million.
That Ed destroyed. $2 million in 1983 dollars. Quite a bit.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Now
so
that plane would have been probably about 45 million.
but hold the presses, everyone. Somebody
Here
else is
she
coming.
is.
Somebody else is coming into NASA again.
Who is this?
Well,
Who is
not
this?
sure how to pronounce it. But
Elida.
as Aleda has decided to come work here. We can see her looking up. Of course, we see her again looking up, and she's looking up at Margot's portrait here, hanging in the lobby of the Johnson Space Center.
See, I would have loved this shot to have like a little like dollar store frame underneath both of them that has Molly, and Molly put it there. That would have been amazing.
Right?
She'd
Yeah.
just be like, "Fuck you both." I'm
Right.
going
You're
on
right.
that
Molly's
thing, too.
office doesn't get to be on the picture wall like with the general.
Isn't the general on the picture as well?
Yeah, he's still
Yeah,
there.
he's
and then
further
Reagan
over.
is
And
further
Reagan
over.
is the first one. Yeah.
So Aleda's going through here. We see her pass a janitor, what her father had done, and then she comes in.
Symbolism.
See,
Symbolism.
Jeff, that's why we had all this.
That's
back.
what we
You would-
needed.
For that.
You wouldn't know. You wouldn't know.
We
What the-
wouldn't have even put two and two together that they needed a janitor in this place.
Look, this is an important character.
This is very important now.
See,
Since
if
they've
they
all
had
stopped
just
smoking.
introduced her here and no backstory at all, they could have had her walk into NASA, see the janitor, and be like, "Oh, hello. Do you remember my father who worked here for many years and instilled in me a love of space?"
Right.
Yeah.
And then
Oh
we
my
got the whole
God.
backstory.
Heather just took like an
No.
hour away from this episode right there.
I think she just walks up to him and goes, "Father."
Are you
Papa.
my papa?
Papa!
Papa, is that you? And he's like, what? No.
He's like, no. The
But
FBI took your papa.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
we
Papa
said-
is at a prison
um,
camp somewhere.
But we see Aleda has come into the theater room here of behind Mission Control. I love how it says "Quiet, please," and she's cheering. She's so pumped to be here, to be back, and now be working here. Of course, she
I
has
thought
that
this
fear.
was really fun the way they did this, that they had her just yell, "Fuck yeah!" and then they cut and she's just cheering inside.
And you can't hear her inside of
groundlessly.
Mission Control,
I
right?
thought that was fun.
And she's
Okay,
even
but if
tearing
it's
up
so
a bit.
soundproof, why do they have a quiet please thing there?
Yeah, I don't know. Quiet
That's
if
a
you're
good point,
quiet if you're in
Josh.
the room with
That's
them.
a
I
goof
suppose.
and a gaff you've discovered, Jody.
Yeah.
Oh, we
When
were
the
all
hush
thinking
falls
it. I
over the
just said
crowd.
it.
Adam, maybe you can tell us that in fun facts.
Sure.
Oh, her last name's Rosales?
Rosales, or is it
That's right.
Rosalie's? I don't know.
No, it's
Rosalie's.
Rosales.
Rosaless.
Rosales. She's here. She's tearing up. She's happy to be here. So I always forget this guy's name that she's working for.
Bill.
Bill. And Bill's like, "Hey, nice to meet you. Like, what's your story?" She's like, "I have no story. and I don't like to talk."
Perfect.
Do you like sauerkraut? We must know.
Not
must
today, Bill.
Even
She's-
Elena doesn't want to tell you her own story.
Yeah.
He's turned into a much better guy, though. His arc has been great.
Yeah. Bill's coming along, and Bill's like,
Bill's
she's
doing
like,
great.
I have no story. He's like, how did you get the job against thousands of candidates? You must have something to you. She's like, nope. Boring
Nope.
old me. And she's like, well, welcome to the team, I guess. Cool.
He's like, fantastic. Yay.
She then
All right,
heads
bye.
over to another section of the building where she's working. They're working on a certain aspect of the rocket system, I think, or some. I can't remember exactly what the detail is, but we meet this guy. A lot of the old Apollo engineers work in this section, and she's very quiet. She doesn't say much in these scenes. She's just kind of in awe of being here now and working here. And they kind of
But
sit her down.
the way that she was, I think, portrayed working at Boeing was that she doesn't play well with others.
Right. And so
So-
maybe she's afraid of like doing something, like asserting herself, right? So she's being timid at this point, which makes sense. She wants this to go well. She doesn't see like Margot, while in this whole first scene or first time she's here. So where's the latest
She did
desk?
see the portrait of Margot, but she hasn't seen her in person yet.
Right. I guess Margot would probably know she's here, or she's starting. I would imagine, but I don't know.
Margot can't find her desk either to come greet her on her
Margot
first
barely
day.
goes home, so
It's the same place where she sleeps.
yeah.
Yeah.
You should be able to find it.
I mean, Margot can't find a latest desk.
Oh,
No.
okay.
Margot doesn't even know latest there.
I don't think so. Like maybe vaguely.
Yeah.
She's more worried about what Ed
She's
is
like,
recording.
what the hell is a TPS report?
How do you? Okay, can I just this landing pad? Now that we go back to the moon, how do you think they created that?
How did they
Like,
build a concrete landing pad on?
I don't think they did. I think it's just moon dust they piled
It's
up.
just flattened out and then painted.
Where they get they bring paint there and lights? How do they hook
Well,
up these lights?
Didn't
Where's
they
the
bring-
electricity coming from?
I don't know.
They have electricity inside the base, don't they? They just ran
Sure.
an extension cord.
It's
It's,
a-
moon
they-
ingenuity.
There you go, Heather.
it's
I
all
like
It's
it.
the
nuclear
exact same
pow-
way
it's
I
all
try to get the
nuclear
lights in
powered.
my house on.
Yeah. It's like Christmas lights on the moon.
Right. Well, they've obviously shaped the regolith to a certain degree here. Anyway, this
Wouldn't
is
they
when
have brought up like panels to put down for their landing pad?
I would
maybe we missed those 9 years, so we didn't
Yeah.
really see how this progressed. Right. Exactly.
Would have been helpful.
Yeah.
They could have dug down a bit and it was more solid then, or they just
Right.
poured some.
I just thought
water
it was
and let
impressive.
set.
I was like, how did they do that? I was just
Like
kinda
for all
was-
we know, you add a little bit of water to this stuff and it turns into concrete. Like
Right.
who knows, right?
Maybe, but it would be ice, because it's so cold. But okay, anyway, I'm not. This guy is teaching Tracy about her job here now on the moon, which
Yeah,
is
and she's such a prick that she's like, I think I know how to fly one of these, asshole.
right. She even has to wear her Linus patch on her spacesuit.
And it's bigger.
And
Well,
dirty.
because when everybody's in their spacesuits, they don't know which one is Linus.
Right, which is important to know.
That's important to know.
But he kind of explains that there's all these shipments every day. They got to move the fuel around. They got to do this, and she's kind of like a glorified truck driver. But
So here's the thing I have a problem with this whole scenario. Okay, I get that they have to move like their equipment from one area to another.
Nikki loved that comment. Oh my God, they went to the actual moon to film this.
impressive.
It's amazing.
They
I wonder what
did.
the budget was.
But my question to you is, why would they be using this vehicle to do it?
I don't. Well, what would the alternative
Like,
be?
build something else, because like this is it's a super fragile vehicle.
Jody, they have no money.
What do you mean they have no money?
They spent it all on the
They
landing
keep
pad.
shooting people up to the moon. Of course,
They spent
got
it on a
money.
latest salary.
hmm
Yeah, get her on the team.
Not
Yeah,
to mention
well,
all
you're
the
right.
new covers for the TPS report.
Because remember Patty died flying one of these, and
Oh yeah, R.I.P.
Right.
Patty.
Patty.
She,
right?
she flew the
Gone but not forgotten.
the test version of it.
like a
but,
similar
yeah,
a
it's-
similar vehicle, right?
But like these things aren't designed to go up and down constantly. Like that's not what they were for. Now I guess someone could say, yeah, they retrofitted it, but it doesn't look much different.
well,
Like, you'd think they would be able to build some sort of, vehicle that could do this a little bit more better, and maybe even.
Well,
automate.
with an ace pilot like Tracy Stevens at the helm, it's perfect.
well, her first takeoff here with this does not go smoothly. She's really having a
Oh,
hard
it's
time,
brutal. She's all over
And-
the place.
and it looks like she's gonna get them both killed for maybe a minute here. But she eventually he panics a bit more than she does, right? Because she's kind of he says stabilize it, like pull
And
up
they
or
keep teasing me that they're gonna kill her, and they don't kill her, and it drives me nuts.
oh jeez. All right, and then
true.
then she gets it. She finally gets it. She's able to stabilize the craft, and she thinks she's got a handle on it now. And she's moving along.
Well, she literally did have a handle on it.
Well, yeah, that's a good point. But she's feeling a little bit more confident, and she's starting to do her rounds, her duties, flying.
Now,
the
go
thing
back
around.
to that screenshot.
Yeah.
Okay, there's multiple pads here.
Yeah.
So
So there
is there
are.
a whole bunch of these, or is it just the one and that's it?
No, I don't-
He
Why do they
says
have all
there's
these
three.
pads if they only
He
have
says
this
there's
thing?
3 pilots. I don't know if they've got 3 vehicles.
right.
Well, they got at least 4 pads from the looks of it.
Yeah, like it's
Plus the
I
one
don't
she
know.
took off from.
Like obviously
so-
they've somehow created these, but it's
Yeah.
neat. Anyway, she's going along. Okay, then we go back to Earth after that scene. We're I guess it's Austin, right? And
Yes.
Pamela Horton, reading from her book of poetry, Muse number 10.
Who drew that book cover? That
Maybe it
is
was
not
Wayne.
good. Yeah,
Um,
Wayne, fire him because it's not. That is terrible.
Wayne's like, I got access to a photocopier. I can
Yeah.
do it for you.
I got an idea. Get your picture in a bubble, and we'll put an
Well,
eye.
She's a poet laureate. Like she's not necessarily too worried about or have a huge
I think she
budget.
contacted Wayne and she's like, "Hey Wayne, I got papers." And he's
I
like,
think it's the
I'm there.
bookstore did this, guys. Seville Books presents. They did the work.
Mhm.
It's not good.
But doesn't this feel like a funeral setup with this book to
does.
sign?
Looks
and
like
the
someone
flowers?
Yes.
Looks like someone died a little bit. And
Yeah,
but there's
I
also
think-
this
I
tray of
think in a way
chocolates.
We all die when we go to a poetry reading.
That is
So,
true.
so you go to sign your. I came to this reading. I just wanted to sign my name to let you know I was here, and I'm going to grab a truffle. While I'm at it.
Yeah. Sign my name, grab a truffle, and then that's good.
It's
Ellen's
a funeral for heterosexuality. Okay, boys? That's what's happening here at the bookstore.
Right.
All right?
Fair.
Yeah.
All right. As Pam, it was just set up in the previous episodes where she's
Is this
now.
the same actress?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Totally.
Yeah. Because this is 9 years
I
later.
like
she's-
her bartender look better than her poet will look. Personally.
Yeah, she's looking. They're trying to make her look a little bit older, a little bit more established in life. She got her career now.
Her career and her blazer and
Yes.
her dressy blouse underneath.
So what is her career?
She's
Poet.
a poet,
Oh,
And a teacher.
Jody.
That's not a career.
You don't
she's
Come
know.
on now.
a writer.
She don't work at the bar anymore. She's no Karen.
Well, Karen,
All right.
Karen's not loving the bar. It seems like.
No, she's not.
I think if this is her primary career, I think she's got a lot of work to do.
Listen, her tens of fans provide her entire
Yeah.
income.
Yeah, like
Look
look
at
at this
Tons
crowd.
of fans.
Look
They
at
look
that.
so excited too.
Look how
Wow.
happy this couple is right here. Like,
They're pretty
This
happy.
is basically just a 1980s YouTuber. Like
I-
it's a career.
Yes.
Look at the lady in the front though, in the chair. She's thrilled.
She
I
is
mean,
Absolutely.
in love with
Yeah.
Pamela
I am
Horton.
Oh, yeah.
glad I took
95
these
copies.
$60 a
And
day
The older
to
couple,
be an extra.
scroll up to the older couple.
Yeah.
This lady leaned over and said to her husband, "I'm leaving you for a woman."
And he's like, Can
You're
I
right.
watch?
It is a funeral.
he
for
was just like, "What?
heterosexuality."
What are you saying?" Anyway,
I do admire the guy's sport coat, though. It is a very exquisite sport coat.
it is. Pam eventually notices Ellen, who's here, by the way. And so Ellen looking on as she reads the poetry and she makes contact. But then, Pam gets back into her reading. A time later, Ellen is, I don't know, trying to keep busy looking at these books.
Skulking in the stacks, waiting to see Pam.
Well put. And and so now they're finally seeing each other face to face. And like last time they saw each other was not great. So this is a little bit awkward, but they're mostly happy to see each other, I would say.
No, tomorrow's going to be more awkward.
And then who comes along? It's Pam's new partner. I forget her name.
Because she's dull as fuck and she's meant to be.
Yeah, kind of a little forgettable.
You're
She
no
is
astronaut.
nondescript. And Pam looks radiant with her hair and her glowing smile. And Ellen
Pam
looks
is like-
really good too.
Pam
And then
is like, I
boring
definitely
girlfriend is
downgraded.
like, "Hello, I'm Pam's partner." Blah. Because you don't remember her name or anything else about her.
No, it's hard.
What is her
to.
name? Melanie or something like that?
Doesn't matter.
No idea.
It doesn't
Just
matter.
blah.
But she knows, like she says, "I've heard a lot about you, Ellen." Ellen almost
Right.
gets a little bit uncomfortable with that, because what do you know about me? Like, because
You know
Where
that
all
I'm
the
closeted
freckles
and I
are.
broke Pam's heart. You know that? 'Cause
Do you know
I
about
bet
that?
do.
I think she would have to have known about that.
Oh, she definitely knows.
So
Pam
why-
told her that.
She's all right. First of all, if she knows all that, this whole interaction, it doesn't make any sense to me, because wouldn't you be a little bit like,
Sus.
why are you here, bitch? You know, like, you need to leave.
Well,
you know?
maybe, Buzz very generous in taking the high road because it's her partner. She's not going to make a scene in the
maybe
bookstore
she's
at
looking
Pam's
for a
poetry
threesome.
reading.
Got a comment here from Nikki again, saying, as someone who never watched this show, this is already a wild ride. We were just on the moon. Now we're in a library scene with lesbians. That's right.
That's right, Nikki. Welcome to the show.
And we were complaining this is a boring episode, Nikki.
Nothing happens, or does it?
Yeah.
Wait till they get the lesbians in space, girl.
So Ellen's about to leave, a little bit upset, but then Pam chases her down and says, "Hey, like, I'm going to be in Houston in a few weeks. Maybe we could get together for a drink or something, And,
Which is basically code for, hey, want to have an affair?
Let me tell you, from the second Pam walked back up to her in the store, I was like, they're going to do it. Get it, girls.
Here's my serious questions about this show. All right. Are all lesbians adulterous?
I don't know. There's a lot
that a
of
serious
straight
question?
adultery going
No,
on
not at
too.
all.
Jody, you heteronormative bitch.
You tell him.
Yeah, what it was Gordo was he was left and right. He was doing something.
I have never been insulted and amazed at the exact same time. That's amazing. I love it.
Anyway.
I'm now going to refer to myself as that.
Well, this is now we've got Ted's comment on Jody, and now we have this one. We should put them together. Dave.
Great moments. Great moments.
I am just this show's kicking bag. It's fine.
The lioness, perhaps, of the show.
I am the
Linus,
Ah.
you gotta get a sticker.
Okay, so then we're over at Gordo's house, who's watching on Johnny Carson.
Oh, did you know that they're best friends?
Johnny
Johnny
best
Carson
friends. Yeah, he's
and-
watching his
and-
ex-wife talk to
and-
Johnny
and-
Carson
and this chick.
on. We see from her perspective here up on Jamestown talking to Johnny, all the other astronauts.
Why
kind
is
of in the
there a
wings.
glowing green frame around that?
Because it was the 80s.
It's live link.
Live
to
link.
make it look cool.
Yeah.
Make it look space age more, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, they're talking. Is this where the montage starts, or is it not quite yet?
No,
Oh yeah, and then
so-
there was this astronaut, Pomerantz, who says, "I like David Letterman better than Carson," and that goes on.
Can you go back a frame? I feel like this girl in the back is eyeing her down, going, "Why is this girl so important?"
Well, we see- Like, that's the thing here with Tracy is like some of the astronauts are kind of in awe of her celebrity status, the fact she's talking to Johnny Carson. But what comes out through this episode is that a lot of the astronauts come to be resentful of her.
Well, I think that happens over the month of seeing her performance over that month.
Correct, but
I agree
Right?
with you,
Because they all
Kevin. I
seem
think-
they all seem kind of enthusiastic about her being there at the beginning and kind of in awe of Carson, but now they're like she's doing all these radio spots and,
They're like,
and
"This girl
everything, and
is a
it
shit
gets
show."
old.
She's
Well, and they-
doing more publicity than she is doing actual work. And
Right.
I'm sure they've started to notice that she's slacking. She's late. She's not doing
this
a
lady's
good
already
job.
on to her right here.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
said. Her, yeah, she's
That
looking at her,
lady's
going,
like,
"Why is she
"We
going
should've-
on Johnny Carson? I'm important too."
Why did we
Yeah.
invite this chick? We could have got
Gordo.
Matt Damon up here or something.
So
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon,
Come up here pooping a butt.
Yeah.
right? And
He could
some
have
of
been
the-
shitting all over the moon.
Some of the stuff that Tracy's saying to Johnny Carson too is like, "Well, it's like a little village up here, and everyone loves each other," and like that's
And the
she's-
chick in the back's like, "I will stab you in your
But
sleep."
she's not being fully honest, and everyone in the room kind of knows that, and so it's that's probably
Tracy
hard to
not
do.
being honest.
Yeah. See here, looking at a picture of her and her two sons, Danny and Jimmy.
Danny and the other one. Who's
The other
in
one.
the
The other one
shadow.
that was-
that's in the
The other one
shadows.
that's in the,
You can't
in
even
the
see
dark.
him. It's like the Back to the Future picture where he's
Yeah.
disappearing.
They're being erased from time.
Great metaphor
Danny
for the
and
show
Blood,
too.
number 2.
Yeah, no one really remembers Jimmy.
Johnny be good.
Or Jimmy. I actually like Jimmy more than Danny.
Really? Yeah.
I don't know even which one's which, quite honestly.
Danny's the one in the Navy. So.
Oh, okay.
And the one that works at the bar.
And the one with the light shining
You-
upon him.
You think you hate Tracy now? Wait till you meet Danny.
Okay. All right. So anyway, Tracy's trying to go to bed here, but the ventilation system is driving her crazy. With
Yeah, the thing that provides her oxygen.
Well, yeah. I can that kind of noise doesn't usually bother me to sleep, but I know some people are light sleepers. Anyway, she's going a little crazy here from the lack of sleep.
Well, she's also not that tired because she doesn't do any work.
She does a little, like I don't think you.
Listen, radio spots are hard work, Jody. Okay, maybe dissing Tracy Stevens on the moon.
Right, but she can't handle this. She's starting to lose, and then I think this is the start of the montage. This is the montage with the weight by the band playing. Of course, the title of the episode. I'm gonna try to go. There's a lot of screenshots here, and they're kind of repetitive, so I'm gonna try to move through them relatively quickly.
There is nothing that is more intriguing and disgusting than what she's eating right now.
Yeah, these scrambled eggs that come in like this puck format. This is probably realistic to what they would probably get on like in space. If this is
they gotta have Jello in them, right? Like to hold form like that.
Yeah. I would rather die than eat that.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure out how they have gravity on this fucking thing.
There's just one.
Like I know there's gravity, but why is nothing floating around?
Space magic.
Because of gravity.
It still wouldn't float.
Well,
it would just
but
it
should fall. Would definitely move differently.
It should fall. Yeah, you're right. Things should fall slower, right?
Yeah.
Like
but
your
spoon, it should drop. Like,
it should drop a 1/6 the speed.
They show us that in the first season.
A little bit, yeah, but it's like what this would really be like is not quite this because they're of course shooting this on Earth and that's what they're gonna do. But
there's camera tricks.
Blew it for Nikki. She thought they went to the moon to shoot this.
Yeah, Nikki's like they're on the moon.
That's right.
Is Jody's background fake or is he actually just chilling in an arcade? Well,
arcade all the way.
Jody lives in an arcade. Actually,
that's 100% fake.
He's like Tron.
Sure, Jody.
Should I change it to something else? I can change it.
No, we got to keep this illusion. Okay, this is the montage. So Tracy's still in her truck stuff. She's having to get the hoses and refuel things and pump certain materials. She's back in the base. She's always having to scrub the regolith off of her hands. That's part of the routine because that moon dust is so corrosive. I think it was that Corrado guy talked about getting in his eye and that being really bad. But you kind of just live with this stuff. Anyway, she can't sleep, the ventilation, she's going. And it's also going back and forth with Gordo on Earth as he's dealing with his claustrophobia inside of the spacesuit. He's doing his exercise routine now. He's doing some sit-ups and some different things. He's using the beer to feed the plants, which I don't know if that's good for the plants, but
it is not.
It is very much not.
It was the 80s. We didn't know any better.
We didn't know, but
we didn't know.
To signify, I guess Gordo's cutting down the beer drinking.
So he's killing the plant instead of himself.
He's killing the plant instead. Then he doesn't have to water the plant. He's going to be freed up for other things. He's even picking up the dirty laundry from the floor.
I think this montage would have had a really different tone if they had set it to Physical by Olivia Newton-John.
Oh my God.
It would. Absolutely.
He's getting physical right now. I'm playing it in my head.
Yeah.
Let's get into
back to Tracy, who can't sleep in here. She's going crazy from that air ventilation system. She's eating those scrambled eggs.
I like how the shot gets closer and closer to the scrambled egg goop as the montage goes on. Blech.
They did a good job of making this look really unappetizing. And just completely.
To me, it just looked like one of those hash browns from McDonald's.
Yeah, like
I thought it was a puck of macaroni and cheese.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, could be that too. Yeah.
During the montage, we see here that like Danny and
what's his name?
The other one, the brother, is they're talking to their mom on like the phone, like the video phone thing, and then Gordo comes in and she goes, "Hey, Gordo," and they go, "What is your father doing?" We see Gordo is actually throwing away all of his booze, from the bar.
Is he pouring it all into the plants? She's like, Gordo, stop.
He's going all to his plants. Exactly. And they go, we don't know, right? But so these transformations happening with Gordo and Tracy, simultaneously here. She's like, what's going on with your father? They're like, we don't know. Gordo running. Do you guys know about running? Running's great. He's
Gordo
he's
doesn't seem to think so at this point in the
He's-
montage.
He's not as much. He's not as super into it. Tracy recording more radio spots. Now she's getting the moonshine from the chemist as well throughout this. Even a little bit of that, it's got to friggin' put you on your ass, you know?
Aye. Might as well drink the rocket fuel, girl.
Yeah, you'd probably be better off.
I'm more concerned in the
99.5%.
fact that they gotta still this, and you need heat, and oh boy.
Yeah, he made that, right? It's not like
Yeah,
that came.
he said he made
out.
it.
Yeah, I don't know. So her spiral into, I don't know, not that word is not going great.
And you can tell as the montage goes on, her hair gets messier and messier. So you can tell she's unraveling because her hair is coming apart, when she was perfectly coiffed when she first arrived. Storytelling.
Yeah, it looks a little better there.
She's doing all the promos for the radios.
Gordo still struggling in the suit. I think just if one of my astronauts every time he got into the spacesuit was clearly hyperventilating and had claustrophobia, I think it might get back to the powers that be. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like this might be hard to hide, but suspend disbelief.
He just puts the visor down so they can't see him panicking.
Right. More of Tracy, more scrubbing the regolith, more talking to Johnny Carson and the other astronauts giving the stink eye.
Yeah, they're over it now.
They're over it. Yeah. And she's pretty much doing the same song and dance, right? She kind of becomes a different person too, a little bit when she's on, with Johnny. And Gordo doesn't give a damn. He's turning her off,
Mid sit up.
More sit-ups, Gordo.
He's like, get out of my montage.
I like that they showed that progression in the episode, though, because the first time we see him in this episode watching her on TV, they had him slumped over with a beer on his gut.
Right.
He's looking depressed and shitty. And now he's like, nope, I'm working on it, girl. I got my
working
montage.
on himself. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Working on his fitness.
He's doing elliptical. He's doing all kinds of things. He's working hard. He's not giving up. Tracy's just drinking her problems away up on the moon. More of Gordo in the suit. This breakfast with the commander only notices she's drunk later, but I think he would probably figure this out. Sitting across from her
he's
at
eating
breakfast.
the eggs out of the container.
Yeah, and
She
she
puts it onto a platter first.
Yeah,
and then eats it. If that doesn't tell you exactly who she is, I don't know what is.
Okay, well, fair enough.
What? Because she likes to eat off a plate?
Because she eats off of a silver platter when the rest of them don't.
Ah.
Oh, there's a metaphor here.
That's a good point, Jody.
Symbolism from the director, perhaps. Yeah, it could be.
Because even if you look at the lady in the far back, she's got a tray, but it's a more like a utility tray kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Whereas she literally has a silver platter.
That's a good catch, Jody. I like that interpretation.
And then Gordo in the suit, more Carson, more astronauts being pissed at her.
And the burn-in on these screens would be insane. That phosphorus green line that they have there, that would be just etched into that screen by now.
Yeah. We see Ed McMahon makes an appearance. Whereas, the astronauts. And then we see Tracy coming to her bunk here, and she didn't get the sauerkraut, everybody. Instead, she got a Barbie, and they call her
Astronaut Barbie, Astro Barbie.
I
Space
doubt
Barbie.
that Barbie doll tastes as good as sauerkraut.
Right. I didn't think who brought this Barbie up and was holding it for just this scenario. And they made a little suit for it, a little space suit.
No, that was a real Barbie. They had
one?
astronaut Barbie for real.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad they brought it up. Just to, but Tracy's not. Tracy's like, whatever, guys, and we see her. They're doing their little snickers at her, laughing. Isn't that a great point we made? Not really. And then, this is when the other one, the other Stevens kid, he finds Dad in the closet. We see this extension cord going into the closet, and he finds his dad.
I have to admit, I first thought he was going to find him in the bathroom, and there was a toaster involved. But it turns out that's not what's going on.
Right.
No live, laugh, toaster bath today.
Nope.
Yeah. Gordo just trying to get used to having the helmet on, I guess, and he's like, it's all part of the training, son. It's all good. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, every NASA astronaut sits in half of a suit and a helmet in their closet. It's fine.
Yeah, just All part of the train, son. He's
I
close
love
to
that
the
he
door.
doesn't ever explain himself either. He's just like, it's training.
It's part of the
You,
train.
you probably don't remember this
Yeah.
from the first.
We see some of the ants here that, of course, Danielle's ant farm all those years ago seems to have lingered as a thing here.
Those must be super ants on, because the gravity's what, six times less?
1/6, right? But
Yeah, so if they can pick up 50 times their weight, then they're insane on the moon.
Yeah, well, that's probably why they thrived. And they got a food source, I guess, in the humans' food, right? That's what they're primarily relying on. But Tracy then is going into bed here. We see like she's taped up her ventilation system with like pillows and duct tape and all this, and she's like, I'm just gonna pound this moonshine before bed, you know.
Do you think those ants were actually there?
I don't know. I don't know. It's Gordo.
Oh.
The ants were real, Gordo. Come on.
Is it space madness again?
Yeah.
The Stevens and ants have had a vendetta going back millennia.
Yeah.
Stevens versus ants.
It's like
Where
Hadley
Millard,
and
somebody said,
McCoys,
like,
you know?
when she was getting her initiation or her tour, he said, "We've got infestation here."
Yeah.
Mhm.
You get
Ants are
used to
everywhere.
it.
You get used to it, just like you get used to everything, except for this ventilation system, which he has not gotten used to. More Johnny Carson, more pissed off, more Gordo running. Good job, Gordo. And then
I was waiting for Captain America to show up and like lap him.
Yeah.
That would have been good.
we see Gordo still struggling throughout. He's really trying to get over this helmet claustrophobia thing. And then one night, Tracy's heading off of her bunk. She's got a cigarette in her ear. She's having some kind of like dessert here or something. And
Well,
then
at least she's a commoner now.
she looks at that
Eating
photo
out of
of
a container.
yeah, she looks at that photo of Tracy or no, Danielle and Gordo from all those years ago. And then she kind of figures out she could have that cigarette. She's like, I could blow into that ventilation thing, right? There's a way to sort of get
I'm
away with
pretty
this.
sure NASA had cameras all over the place. Like they probably would have
They
noticed.
didn't
them
even know
walking
the
around.
Soviets were listening to them for 9 years.
That's true.
You
Good
know.
point.
Anyway,
And
so then
like, I don't know if any of y'all ever smoked, but I smoked for 31 years. And let me tell you, if I were on that space station, I would have found a way to smoke a cigarette too.
It's true.
well, yeah, like when I quit, if she's gone like. I don't know how much time has gone by from the time she arrived to this specific moment.
Well,
Is it a month?
when she gets caught, it's 1 month.
It's 1 month, right?
About a month.
So if you went without a cigarette for a month, like you've kind of kicked the habit. To start again would be kind
Yeah,
of
it takes about 2 to 3 weeks to get the craving out.
She's drinking ethanol. She
wants
wants
to smoke.
a cigarette.
She wants that smoke. Yeah, fair enough. So she's lighting up. Don't worry. She really
I don't
wants
know,
a
I'm pretty
joint.
sure with the amount of like illegal booze that she's drinking, I don't think you should be anywhere near a flame.
Yeah.
Like, just
Yeah.
her shouldn't be
You're
near a
not
flame.
supposed to have fire in space. It's a thing.
It's true.
Fire
But
in
she's
space
just gonna
never
blow
goes
the.
well.
Like this made me think of like all the times we wanted to hide the smoke, like the weed smoke. We'd have like the smoke buddies, or I guess I never tried to.
What I
vacuum
thought
cleaner.
was hilarious was the amount of smoke that comes out of the top of the space
Yeah.
station when they go to the outside.
She's
There is
smoking like
no
a-
way that came out of one person's lungs. Someone else is smoking somewhere else on that base.
Or cooking some
Yeah.
burgers.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the vent for the sill though. Like
Maybe.
the still.
Or the vent for the still, yeah, where he's making the alcohol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe. Okay, that's kind of like the end of the montage, right? And then we go down here to Cape Kennedy, where we get to meet the Space Marines for the first time. They were kind of set up in dialogue earlier that if they're talking about like what are the rules of engagement going to be? When are we going to be allowed to use the gun? They asked.
But the most
I don't know if I have a
important
shot here.
thing was, why are they white?
They ask why they're white, but apparently it's because we think of space as always being cold, but when you're in direct sunlight in the sun, it's actually very, very hot. And they're saying so that without painting those guns white, they would get so hot that they would melt through the gloves of the suit. So that's why they're doing that.
Also,
Anyway.
it just looks cooler.
Yeah, looks like a space gun.
Mhm.
Anyway, so then Molly shows up to, they're like, are we going to be able to use them? She's like, shut up, or basically like, I'm going to read you the rules.
I love how she deals with everybody though, because she literally acts like she doesn't want to be there for anybody. She's
Right.
like, I am not trying to be helpful. I'm doing my damn job.
Yeah, she's like.
But I love she turns to the commander and goes, "You're the commander. Command." And
Yeah,
then,
go
then she's
command.
out. Like,
Right, she
Yeah.
was
They
gonna
don't
read
pay
this,
me for this shit.
the standing rules for like how they're supposed to use the guns or the weapons or when they can shoot and when they can't shoot and all that. And she's starting to read it, but we see her vision's blurred. This is a result of the radiation.
She got the
exposure.
radiation eyes.
Yeah,
It's either that or the massive amount of weed that she does.
which she wasn't fully honest about, of course, with most people, with how much radiation she was exposed to. And yeah, she can't read it, so she says, "You know what? You can read it on your own time. I don't give a damn. Like, why should I read this to
She's
you?"
like, why am I standing here?
You know what?
I
I
got
love
other
this
things to do.
attitude. I'm going to employ this the next time I can't or don't want to do something. I'm not here to do this for you. You do it yourself.
Yeah, exactly. So
it'll
so
work
she-
in 99% of situations.
Yeah, right?
and so yeah, and these Marines, like they're Marines, but they're not just like general infantry. Like they're full like officers. Like this guy's a colonel, and like a couple of guys was lieutenant colonel and major and everyone else. So they're very highly trained, educated as well, right?
I think we've established in this show that Molly Cobb will boss anybody around, and she does not care.
She doesn't
No.
care.
I'm
She
going
doesn't care about
blind.
rank.
Well, I
Yeah.
care.
But then we see as she walks away from that conversation, she's looking back at the clipboard, and the reality is maybe starting to hit with Molly, or that her time is limited, perhaps in some ways, in her life. Anyway, then we transition back over to the outpost where we're having a spaghetti dinner here in the back room of the office with Danny Stevens along with Kelly and Karen, and they're talking about the Naval Academy stealing the mascot from the Army school, or I guess from West Point. I don't know where the hell the Army guys go, but it was a mule or a flock of mules, a herd of mules. Anyway, but then Admiral Baldwin comes in, and Danny's at attention. So
Admiral Buzzkill.
Admiral Buzzkill shows up, and so Danny leaves. And then we got this. Okay, this is kind of like the first time Ed and Karen are really sitting down here together and talking since he got back from his near-death, ejecting from that jet. And Karen is kind of cold and distant here with Ed. And talking about they bring him a plate of spaghetti.
Another plate of disgusting spaghetti.
Have some
Disgusting.
looks like-
Revolting.
Paint. Like the sauce just looks terrible.
Like, remember how she was giving him a hard time about the cheese before? And now he's dumping all this cheese on his spaghetti, and she doesn't care. She doesn't say one thing. Like, she looks at it, but she doesn't say anything.
No,
So he just loads it up, the whole mountain of that cheese.
gross.
Yeah. Right? Maybe, I think he does it partly just to see if she'll react, but she kind of says, he says, "Hey, do you want to go see Wrath of Khan?" Which came out in 1982 in our timeline. Okay, so this is a year later, and so
But
she's
it's
like,
in
"I
the
know."
theaters now.
But it's in this timeline. I guess it came out in '83.
Spock still dies though, so that's good.
Spock still dies, and she spoils it for him. Like, Spock dies. Bye.
I wish they would have actually given a different ending. Something.
if they change
Maybe-
because
Well, the problem is if they said Kirk dies, then they'd be like, "Oh, it's the Kelvin timeline."
No. Or
Chekhov dies. Oh,
Oh my
shit.
God, is this the Kelvin timeline? This whole thing? Oh no!
Oh no, it is.
Damn it!
All right. Well, anyway, so Ed
J.J.
should be.
Abrams.
Ed's not quite sure what's up with Karen. Back at Jamestown, Tracy is. Yeah, this is where she just pounds the moonshine before bed.
Yeah.
Well, she
drunk.
already looks like she's hungover too, which is even more impressive.
Right. She looks rough here. And then she's sleeping, I guess. But then the alarms go off here. The CO2 is really high inside the base. Everyone has to get their gas masks out and start scrambling here. And then eventually they're told it's a false alarm. Somebody taped up the ventilation system, and he kind of calls out Tracy directly here by the bunk number, right? And they all look at Tracy, "You idiot," and you're like,
Fucking Linus.
"Yeah, you Linus, what are
Mm-hmm.
you doing?" We get this chat here between Commander Rossi and what's her name, Tracy, back in his office here. You know, he's like, you're not doing good. This is not going well. Do you know that? She's like, I know. I can't sleep. It's not going over here. Just, you know, give me another chance.
Maybe you can't sleep because your body is filled with crap.
Right. She looks rough here.
She does. She looks hauled. And they started the episode with Gordo in this shape. And now it's been total switch. It's Tracy now.
Yeah. And then he's like, "Are you drunk?" You know, and she's like, "What? Huh, no." He's like, "You are." You know, and he really gets upset.
She's drinking that damn moonshine. He could have smelt that walking in.
And he's like, "I'm going to write you up. I'm gonna have to report you." She's like, "No, don't do that, please." You know, she pleads, and he ultimately decides, "Okay, this is your last chance. This is the only time I would ever warn you, and you're losing your own bunk. Like, you're gonna have to share with somebody else. Or you can sleep on the floor. I don't care." You know, it's kind of what he says here to her. So she's not having the best day, I would say, or time.
He's like, "I miss those gay cowboys."
Just Brokeback Mountain. Yeah, and all the other astronauts looking at her with like contempt.
Well,
she's out.
You notice they're all working.
So
Something
she
that
decides
she's not used to doing.
Well, she's not doing that right now either. She decides to go for a spacewalk, kind of like Gordo used to do.
As one does when they're drunk and on the moon.
Right? Well, there you go.
Seems like
And,
This is what the show has led us to believe. Yes.
Yes. She decides.
I wonder
to
if
visit,
she'll kill any Russians while she's out there.
decides to visit the grave of Deke. You see a photo here of Deke and Marge. It's faded a bit in that sun.
I did like that touch though, because that would totally happen.
Yep, probably. Yeah, depending on how long that photo's been there.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, like an Irish shot glass, some whiskey, a couple. I don't know, like a
Moon garbage.
a plane. Yeah, moon garbage. Exactly. Litter. Is that what we're meant to?
It would have been
here?
great if she picked up one of those metal objects and it melted to her hand.
Well, okay. Anyway, she's talking
Why
to
am I
Deke.
so hostile today?
She's talking to Deke's ghost at his grave. You know, like how this is not going well, and then he'd be yelling at her if she could, and you know, she's just
Stop being a drunk.
yeah, she's soul
That's what
searching.
Deke would say.
What do I do, Deke? Pull yourself together, Trace. Come on, you know, is probably what he would say.
Stop being a jackass.
Yeah, and so she's crying. She's not
Go
doing
tell
well here.
Molly you're drunk on the moon. That'll fix you.
Yeah. Then it transitions to the moon, and then it turns like into we see here like the bottom of the pool as Gordo is down at the bottom of his pool in scuba gear. I guess, you know, just trying to get used to breathing
That's
underwater.
what astronauts do.
It's true. Well, he's doing it on his own time, I guess, is really what is the reality of it. Anyway, his
budget
sons
cuts.
find him, Danny and the other one, and you know,
Danny and the other one.
you know, they're like, "Hey, Dad, what's up? What are you doing?" He's like, "This is all part of the training." But ultimately, like, you know, because the other one tells Danny about, you know, I found Dad the other day in the closet wearing his helmet, and it was kind of weird. And he said, you know, and they're talking to their dad. They're saying, "What happened to you all those years ago? You know, you never went back up again." And
Your mother.
your mother.
Your mother happened.
Your mother.
But we know it wasn't any of Tracy's fault at that time. Like, you know.
Oh, I think it was secretly.
And, you know, so Gordo decides he opens up a bit here to his sons without fully explaining everything about what happened. But, you know, that sometimes you're okay and sometimes you're not. I thought this was a really good scene.
I thought it was good, and I love when he asks him, "How's it going?" And he goes, "Not good." Like, is it working? Not really.
Not really. You know, but he keeps trying.
Yeah.
Do I look like I'm doing well? I'm sitting at the bottom of my damn pool in scuba gear.
Yeah. Looking up at night, you know. And I don't know, he's allowing himself to be a bit more vulnerable and talk to his sons and, you know, the pain he's going through. And, you know, they said, "Okay, we're here for your dad." And then they decide to have a little can't say, splashing around. They're frolicking around
like
the pool.
frolic like it's the end of a Lord of the Rings movie.
Frolic!
Spish. I don't have a hard time saying that. Spish, splash.
Splish, splish,
Splish.
splash.
It's a splish.
There's an
Not a
L in there.
spish. There's a splish.
There's an L in
Splish
there.
splash.
No wonder I'm having a hard time saying it. I'm not even saying it right.
You've been drinking that moonshine too.
Maybe.
Mhm.
Anyway, they're splashing around in the pool. The Stevens boys,
Taking a bath.
and then back at the outpost, we're finally having that drink together here with Ellen and Pam. And who's coming up? Karen creeping up here on them in their conversation. Oh, they were talking about Larry and Larry's boyfriend going on to the disco every night and all that stuff. And but they're having a good time, basically. Ellen and Pam catching up. Of course, Karen knew Pam from all those years ago, right after Shane died. So she says, happy to see you again, and so happy for you. And they have little pleasantries. She says, I live in Houston with my girlfriend and all that. And
wasn't it Karen befriended her though and brought her into the?
Yeah.
right. Yes. Yeah. Right. And
Mhm.
I think Karen puts together the pieces. I think by the end of this, like what's
I
going
think
on.
she had suspicions because remember when she brought Pam into Mission Control with her, there was one particular scene where Karen was looking at Pam meaningfully. And to me, I read that as she's putting two and two together. Why would Pam care so much about Ellen as just gals being pals,
Right. So yeah, we Karen never really explains any of this out loud, but you just got what you can take from the looks here and there. And then Pam says, "What about these plants though that you have? What are these called, guys?"
Those are Boston ferns.
Boston ferns, which apparently were popular in restaurants in the 80s, but not everyone else is so sure about them here. And Karen's like, "Oh, well, So she
I heard if you water them with beer, they die, Karen.
I heard that the Stevens say that this is good for gardening. You want to pour the beer in
When
there?
the hell is this going to turn into a Ponderosa?
Right.
That's what's really going on here.
Anyway, more talk here. Just Pam and Ellen. I'm trying to remember all the substance of what they're talking about before.
Doesn't matter. They end up in bed. All right, move on.
Yeah, they're talking and I was like, I guess I gotta get going and get
home to the wife.
I gotta drive back to Austin tonight. Like, did you say like Austin's like 5 hours from Houston?
No, I checked it out. It's only an hour and a half.
Oh, okay. So she got an hour and a half drive back.
Still, she's been drinking hard liquor. Like, I don't think she can.
It was the
drive.
80s. That was
It was the
fine.
80s.
Oh,
That's
that's right.
fine.
I forgot. Yeah.
Besides, they both know no one's going anywhere tonight except straight to bed.
There's
Yeah,
going to
so-
be some driving, but it ain't going to be in a car.
So they get up to say goodbye to each other, and it's like, okay, we'll see you later. And then all of a sudden, we flash to
Boom!
the bed, and it's they're going for it. And yeah, like they're having a good time.
I
They're reconnecting.
particularly enjoyed this scene. I just want everybody to know.
Okay, thanks. And it's brief, but it's they're back. They're because Ellen and Pam have not seen each other all this time, right? And it seems like Ellen has had much relationships, unlike Larry, right, who has definitely seen people in these years. Anyway, back at the base.
A lot.
Back at Jamestown, the Marines have arrived with their guns. They're bringing them in these cases. The few, the proud, the Marines. And then we also see here that there is a new guy coming up here. Rossi greets the Marines.
I was
This is-
disappointed they didn't call them the Makos.
Yeah, they're kind of like the Makos. Yeah. Now, this is just a problem I have, okay? It's all about the uniforms, guys, as you know. And if you look here at their uniforms, like, only this guy who's meant to be the new Linus has a Velcro patch here, right? The others do not. They could never, but they should all have it, right? If it's meant to be used, potentially.
Not if they're not the Linus.
So they make suits for Linuses and non-Linuses?
Yes.
It seems like you could already have the patch on there.
They're NASA. They have to justify their budget. So they
Yeah.
have two of every
They got like 8 different suits.
uniform. Yeah.
Right.
All
guess
different
where the patch could be
configurations
over
of
there.
Velcro.
Yeah,
Because
it's
they just
different Velcro config.
they just throw on this Marines patch, I guess, to identify them specifically as Marines. As being somehow the
Well, I'm
security
sure
force.
that's Velcro.
The security force of you look at like the others have patches here sometimes, but I guess they're mission patches, but not specifically what branch they're from or anything. of the U.S. military. Anyway, this new guy, Burnett's one of the new Marines. He's the new Linus, so Tracy hands him the patch. He doesn't seem to like it
I don't
either.
even know how you could give that guy a Linus patch. Look at his mustache.
Yeah. He's
the man.
look at that haircut, Like,
Oh, yeah, he's the man for sure.
Anyway, so she's going to show him around here. And
God, she's looking rough.
Yeah, she's like, you'll get used to it. She starts saying that you'll get used to it. Like it's just,
She
and then we
goes,
come away.
I can't wait till season 3 when I love Tracy again and hate Gordo for some reason.
Right. That's coming. Anyway,
The
back at
tides of favor have turned.
back at the outpost, Danny's looking at I don't know, something from the past. Like an
The
old
ashtray. He said
The ashtray.
you used to have an ashtray just like this on your coffee table, and she says it's the same one.
Oh, it's the same one. Right, the Gemini 2 one. And anyway, so we get this whole conversation here at the bar with Danny and Karen late in one night after closing.
Does
and
this relationship hit you kind of creepy?
no comment.
Like, to me, it's creepy.
Why? What do you read into it as creepy? Like, what do you see as creepy, Jody?
Like, I think he's kind of crushing on her.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Like,
he's
I
the
know
creep.
that she's kind of like his surrogate mom in a way, right? But
I don't think it's as creepy for him to crush on her as it would be for her to crush on him, because she helped raise him. She knows him since he was a baby.
Right.
Yeah.
And like, maybe it is a bit creepy for him to be crushing on her, but she's a hot older woman and he is a literal baby whose diaper she probably changed. Say that, like,
Yeah, all true. And so there's some
if
flirt.
these two get together, I'm quitting this show. I'm just telling you right now. Like, I don't
you
know
were
the
here
future
for the
past this.
lesbians.
You were here for the lesbians, and now this is
Number
somehow.
one, anybody who knows me knows I am always supportive of lesbians.
Thank you, Jody. You really are an ally to our community.
I really am an ally.
Where do I go from here? Anyway,
I don't know.
Danny's going, shh, this is creepy right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Don't listen to Jody.
Right?
Don't listen to Jody, Karen.
No,
It's okay.
he's like, Mrs. Robinson. I mean, Mrs.
Yes.
Right.
This is
They're
Baldwin.
Yeah, he tells that the time. Is this where he tells like I caught you dancing to Elvis in your living room by
Yes.
yourself?
Yes.
Right. And then there's this part of the conversation that eventually transitions into talk about Shane, and the trauma. He misses Shane and thinks about him all the time, and that being a huge thing. And they do talk about that.
That
and
dude's brow is amazing. Go back one. Holy shit!
yeah, he's
All right, anyway.
pro mag.
There was part of this scene that I really related to where he said, I think about Shane all the time. And that was a big, divider in my life. I think about my life as before and after that Shane died. And I think that a lot of people, myself included, have, an event that they think of like that. So that really resonated with me. I thought they both acted this scene really, really well.
Yeah, I agree with you completely.
Yeah, I have the same thing. I have like pre-Mater and post-Mater.
Pre-Mater and
before
post-Mater.
I met Mater and after I met Mater.
That's true. I think of that too, Jody.
Me too.
Pre-Jody and after Jody.
I know.
Yeah.
Our
Anyway, so they have
lives
this.
are enriched.
Yeah, they have this moment. They talk about Shane and this connection, but then it kind of transitions back to something lighthearted, and
I was like, thank God she grabbed him on the wrist. Anything else would have been too familiar in this scene.
I also think that he told the story about seeing her dancing alone in the kitchen so she would know that he sees her as a woman, not just like his surrogate mom.
This is getting so creepy.
Shh.
right. Anyway, and then they make some jokes and he leaves. Anyway, for the evening.
Hey, Mrs.
But-
Robinson.
Well, it's got to be an Elvis song. Come on.
Jolton Joe has that thing.
But this conversation with Danny triggers this in her. She pulls out her record and she puts on. It's Suspicious Minds. Is that the song that she's going to here?
No, it's not Suspicious Minds. It's a different.
No,
Elvis
that's
song.
a good song.
It's Don't Be Cruel.
Yeah,
Don't
it's
Be
Don't Be
Cruel.
Cruel. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a really nice version of it. And I also think this symbolizes Karen reclaiming her freedom and happiness and stepping out of
Right.
her old self. Like we were talking about maybe earlier in the
Start
episode, she was feeling
dating
really
younger
trapped. And I think she's starting to want to find herself again and who she is outside of her marriage and NASA and
all of that,
everything.
yeah, her life too, right? And so I think I completely agree. But yeah, Danny triggers that sort of thought in her, and she's got her issues with Ed, we know, right? And so it's a whole thing. But she's dancing the night away to close out the episode, and that is the end of the episode proper. Okay, sorry, I know it took me a long time to get through those, but it was a lot to talk about. So, Adam, would you do us
mostly Adam's fault, I think.
Yeah,
He
he was
talks a
talking
lot.
all the time. So,
Yeah, Adam.
yeah, but let's get into it here with Adam as he
And then we
tells us
give
more
him
about
his
the
own
fun facts.
segment. It's
He
amazing.
never shuts up, so let's
Oh
just
my
get him
god!
here.
Just get through it already.
All right, let's
Come
go,
on.
guys, because there's always fun facts around this show, so I have to find stuff. So listen, after you talked about the picture of Deke and his wife, what's her name?
Marge.
Marge.
Actually, after 9 years exposed to unfiltered radiation, that would have been completely white. So there's
Oh,
like
that's-
a bit of a-
But how long's the photo been there? Is
9
the
years.
Nice.
9 years,
How do we know that?
because that's when Deke
'Cause
died.
Deke died.
That doesn't mean that photo was left there at that time.
Okay, fair enough. Look, there's no atmosphere. It would have been burnt. Okay. They also call out here that, as you guys did, they would have looked a little more clumsy than they really did look, walking on Earth gravity in that space station versus what the moon gravity is like.
Right.
See, I'm not the only freak.
Nope.
But it'd be too expensive probably to actually make that a special effect in every single scene, Like,
True. When Ellen's in the bookstore waiting for Pam, you can clearly see a copy of Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. That was not published until 2012.
Yeah, and I don't recommend watching the movie. It made me angry.
Wait, maybe
That's
in this
a great
timeline, someone else
Yeah.
wrote it.
Someone else
Maybe.
wrote it first in the 80s.
Yep.
Danny salutes, and he refers to him as Admiral Baldwin, and then he returns a salute. However, there's a big when you're in civilian clothes, you do not salute.
Yeah, you
That's an
don't see it.
unwritten rule.
Ooh.
And they were in civilian, so neither of them should have done that.
A couple other things, guys. I just wanted to talk about. So we didn't talk enough about Aleda, but let's talk about her job. So her job here is to write the manual for the docking of Soyuz and Apollo, right? So that's what she's here to do. So what actually happened here? So this was actually done. How this came about was, pardon me, here we are. Just give me a second. In 1972, there was a summit in Moscow between Nixon and Premier Alexei Kosygin. They signed an agreement with Cooperation in Space, and what came out of that was the Apollo-Soyuz test project, which launched in 1975 and was the last mission of Apollo, actually. But it was regarded as a little more than a stunt for space nerds, as being Apollo's redheaded stepchild.
Space nerds.
The alleged purpose was to test equipment and procedures for space rescue, but considering it was the last flight of Apollo, it was retired after that single flight. This is interesting though. I found this is interesting. The crew was commanded by Tom Stafford, but Vance Brand was on this. But Deke Slayton, pardon me, was on his first and last mission on this handshake mission.
The real Deke Slayton, yeah.
The real Deke Slayton, yeah.
Did he die?
No, he came back and lived.
Is he still alive now, or did he actually?
Good question. Maybe one of you can check that.
I can look that up, but
Yeah.
He did die in 1993.
Okay. There was also on the Soviet side, Alexei Leonov was the first. He was in training, but he was also beloved in the USSR because he did the first spacewalk in 1964. That walk actually almost killed him. His spacesuit inflated beyond expectations, and it became so stiff that Leonov was unable to bend enough to climb back into his spacecraft. The solution was to graduate air out of his suit until it flexed enough to make him get through the hatch. The historic handshake.
Told, eh?
Pardon?
I said just what you want to be told when you're on a spacewalk.
Oh yeah,
we're
in
gonna need you
space.
to lose the air.
Yeah, you can't get back in your ship. Oh my god.
Yeah.
The historic
Too
handshake.
fat to get back in.
The historic handshake in space took place on July 15th. Hey, tomorrow, 1975, using the new docking module that allowed the two spacecraft to link up. But due to atmospheric, Aleda didn't do her job, Jeff. Due to atmospheric differences between the craft, and the tunnel could not be opened between the two spacecraft at the same time, requiring at least one astronaut to stay in Apollo.
Another reason why we don't need Aleda.
We don't need Aleda.
Yeah.
We need her. The future.
Yep.
If that's
Okay.
the future, I don't want to be part of it.
Do you have anything else for us, Adam?
No, I don't. I think that's enough for tonight. We've gone long.
We've gone long. Thank you. I appreciate that and teaching us some things.
One big one. I don't know if anybody else caught this, but when Tracy was recording the radio spots, did anybody hear, welcome to K Billy Super Sounds of the 70s?
I didn't catch that, no, but that's awesome.
No, I didn't.
And like Michael Madsen just died last week.
Yeah.
So.
Why? What is that a reference to? Kill Bill?
Reservoir Dogs.
Reservoir Dogs. Right.
Yeah. It's Stephen Wright, who's like the radio host.
Yeah.
The super sounds of the 70s coming at you. Very exciting. All right. Let's get into ratings, everybody, and see how this one does. Let's start at the end here. Jeff, we missed your score last episode, so let's catch up on Pathfinder.
What happened in Pathfinder? What was the?
Well, that's the one where Danielle gets to be made the commander of that mission to do the handshake. That's the one where Gordo and Ed have that. You remember that scene where Ed chews out Gordo? He's like, "Be a man," and stop being a baby and whatever.
In the hangar before they get into
Yeah. Like a 7.5.
All right. And for this episode,
It's like a 6.5 for this episode.
okay. All right. Heather, if you would kindly.
It's an 8.5 for me. I really like this episode. And I mean, yes, I know it was a lot of character development and not a lot of action, but I thought there's a lot of good scenes, a lot of good stuff in this one.
Like usually, like if we talk for this long, it means there was a lot to talk about, a lot of good stuff usually. Like I find bad episodes tend to be short podcasts. So, but Kevin, you're up.
No, I'm back down to a 7. This was
Okay.
kind of boring.
All right, I'm at an 8 because I really like the montage with the weights and the running and Gordo getting back consistent and Tracy's downward spiral. So it works for me. It's not like my favorite episode, but I enjoy this moment of the season. Adam?
Not enough Ed in this episode. I think that Chantel Van Satten, who plays Karen, is amazing. She's probably the strongest actor on this show, in my opinion, but she was great again. I'm giving this a 7.5.
Okay. And Jody, you're
I was originally going to give it a 9, but I'm going to take a point off for Aleda. I'm going to take another point off for Tracy, and I'm going to take a half a point off for Tracy's booze. So that puts us at 7.5, I believe.
What about the lesbians, though, Jody?
Oh, good point. Let's make it an 8.
all right.
Get a half a point for lesbians, Yeah.
That's correct. That's why my score is higher than everybody else's. Lesbians.
Lesbian edge here. All right. Just looking at the IMDb. So we're averaging a 7.6 at the moment. The IMDb rating is 7.4. So we're not too far off. And that's averaging around 7.5. Next episode is called Best Laid Plans.
Good. More planning.
The next episode after that is called Character Development.
Then penultimate episode, then finale. Here we go.
Isn't there an episode called Aleda somewhere in there too?
No, actually, I'm going off memory from 4 years ago, but I'm pretty sure something does happen in the next episode.
Not with Aleda.
Not with Aleda,
Yep.
but
You're going to have to wait a season and a half for that.
They
Yeah, they
have
got
the
their guns
space
out.
guns in the
Space guns.
screenshot.
Space
Things are
guns,
gonna
everybody.
happen.
Yeah, so check it out next week.
Does somebody shoot Tracy?
Well, you have to tune in to find out, Jody. So we're gonna see. Also, okay, so that's For All Mankind tonight and next week, and moving on through season 2. We have been doing Star Trek: The Next Generation reviews on Thursdays, but we are on hiatus because this Thursday, Strange New Worlds season 3 starts. And we're going to be covering that this Thursday. Still trying to work out who's hosting this Thursday, but we'll talk about that. And as I'll be away for this particular premiere. But check out our coverage of that show. Check out Trivial Debates tonight. Davin's on hosting with like a Fantastic Four theme, a few different contestants. If you're into Fantastic Four, you're into some fun podcasts, check out Trivial Debates. And I think that's it.
I want to know what Heather's hand gesture is.
I ain't in no gang, but I got space guns and I bang bang.
Yes.
Well, that's a great fit.
That's
a great
the Beyonce
ending.
reference. For all
I think
of you white
that's
boys.
a mic drop if I ever heard one.
For all you white boys.
Play the funky music. Okay, well, we're going to sign off for tonight. Thanks to the whole panel. Thanks to everyone out there in the live stream or listen to us in the future. And we hope you'll tune in to us next time. Until then, live long and podcast. Have a good one, everybody. Woo. And see you next time.
Beam up some Star Trek content with Live Long and Podcast. Tune in to X-Rated, the X-Men animated review show. Artistic interviews with graphic histories. A roundtable movie discussion with Hey, did you see this one? And movie reviews with Hold Up, a movie podcast. And while you're at it, spin a few records with Eamon on Track. Watch us duke it out on Trivial Debates. And let's chat about TV with the Super Mater Brothers. It's all here on the United Federation of Podcasts.